go on. So, what were you just watching? You were watching that.
I was watching a show, and it's talking about the partnership, whether marriage is a partnership or a marriage. So, I see that with a lot of couples where it's more like a partnership because it's my money, it's her money, it's my eggs, it's my shelves in the fridge. I pay these bills.
No, but I think you need to be. If you're very happy and trustworthy of who you've married, then it's not a problem to just be like, whatever goes in my account, that's there. You know what I mean? Some people start thinking, what the worst case scenario,
Yeah.
or I don't want you to see everything I'm making or whatever.
I find that a lot. Talking with a lot of
High
couples
earning
today,
people then, yeah.
they don't know what each other earns, and I guess it's that mistrust.
That was weird to me.
I think it depends on, number one, the individuals and whether both individuals are trustworthy, because on the other side, I know a lot of, well, I can speak for women, I know a lot of women that have lost a lot because...
What do you mean lost a lot?
So like they've lost their house, or they've lost, or bills are not being paid or whatever.
Oh, because he's not taking
he's the
care
one
of
that's in
it.
charge
As in
of the
he's handling
finances, or he's
his
the one
funds.
handling it.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't think it's necessarily like a trust thing per se. I think it's understanding the dynamic of, is your other part, if male or female, is your other partner good with money? If it's available to them or accessible to them, are they going to spend it? Does that make sense? So on the other side, from a man's perspective, if you've got a woman, I know women that have admittedly said they're shopaholics. So they can't walk past anything without buying something. But if you haven't, and I think as well, like a lot of people, some people are just genuinely not good with money. So for example, most people say, for example, they earn £1,500 a month. If you ask them what they earn, they'll say £1,500, but you don't earn £1,500. You've got to take out all of your outgoings. So all of your bills. So you actually probably earn about £100. Does that make sense? But if you go into the month thinking you earn £1,500 and you're not good with money, and you spend £1,500, you're going to be £1,500 short when it comes to all your bills coming in, and then that cycle just keeps on continuing. So I think it depends on the other person that's in the marriage or the relationship.
But there are some marriages, they go in and they don't have that marriage is one. There's a lot of marriages I've seen where they go in and it's my money and his money. It's, I've seen it where extremes, where couples have different shelves in the fridge. That's my shelf. Everything on that shelf is mine. If you take anything off my shelf, you've got to replace it. They split everything from... You pay the electric, I pay the school fees. So everything is split, and it's not that unity where they come together. And that is pretty much the dynamic of a lot of marriages where they don't have that, or maybe they've never been taught that. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Do we think one's right, what's wrong? Personally, for me, I think the whole food on the shelf and splitting it is just silly. Like, if I take one egg, does that mean that
I know.
do you know what I mean?
How
I think
does
it's
that
got to work. Like,
I cook then for myself?
Does that make
and he
sense?
makes
Yeah,
his own
exactly.
food?
I
The only situation I see that making sense in is if we're both like these gym people that's doing meal preps, and you know what I mean, you're very particular about your food. But in general, if you just have food or you're buying groceries, I don't.
Listen,
but
I've
even
seen
then,
where couples, it's like, you took one of my eggs, so you got to put my egg back. I mean, that's
tedious, man.
that's tiring.
I know, but I think that's just silly, and that's not sustainable.
It's reality
is it?
for some people.
Yeah, but I think that if you're doing that, that's silly. That's like,
So
well, then why did you
what
get
we doing for dinner
married?
then?
Like,
Whose dish are we taking?
this
out?
is what I'm saying. Like,
Well, yeah.
I need your veg.
but
I
but
borrow
then
your
in
broccoli?
saying that, what is the most
Or they just
annoying
eat separate?
thing?
Well, I don't know how that plays out because we've never done that. From the beginning, we've always been, we put everything together,
Yeah.
and it's always been
Yeah, but
out
then
of,
it is annoying when you know that you say, for example, like a like a
Yeah,
muffin or
that happens,
something.
like, who ate my-
Jason done that to me the other day. I had this cherry muffin, and I love cherries.
If you say
he
it-
doesn't even like cherries.
But if you say
no,
something
but no,
like,
but what was bad?
I'm saving this.
No, but
No
but
one's
what
gonna
was
touch
bad?
it.
No, what was bad is that I actually brought him a chocolate muffin because he likes chocolate. I don't eat chocolate, right? And there was a cherry muffin, and I was like, you know what?
Did you specify?
I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have it when tomorrow. I didn't want it that day. Two muffins.
All right, just quickly.
Two muffins. Let me finish my
I hear what
story.
you're
Let me
saying.
finish my story.
Go on.
Two muffins. Two.
Mm-hmm.
One for him. One for me. I actually went to the
Have you
bakery.
voiced this one for him, one for me?
I shouldn't have to.
Why should you
Clearly,
have
there's two, right?
to? Does he like
clearly
cherry?
he thought you
Wait,
didn't
hold
want
on.
it.
So I was actually not feeling well. I'd been in bed all day. Come downstairs. I'm like, yo, I don't even have the
Looking
strength to
forward
make
to it. You've
anything.
been thinking
I'm
about
thinking
it.
about
With
it.
my
Like my
cup
cup
of
of tea. Come downstairs, looking for this muffin.
Presumptuous.
Looking for this
Look at
muffin,
you. You
right?
thought you left
So
it
I
there and it's
phoned
gonna be
him,
there.
and I'm like, Jason, where is the muffins?
In my belly.
So he starts laughing. He goes, I took them. I said, you took both of them? Yes. I said, why are you taking two? Things like that, that's annoying. So in that regard, why are you
I didn't think
taking
you took
two
both.
to work?
I didn't think
You
took
took
both.
two. Like
I thought he took the cherry one.
No, he took both of them. I think it was for one of his work colleagues. So
Oh.
he shared
And you
my
were just there with your
muffin.
tea,
There,
a dry
I had
toaster.
nothing. I didn't even toast. There was nothing in the house.
Listen, there's times when
Oh
I've
my
baked
gosh.
those slab cakes, and then your dad's like, where's the cake that you baked? You lot have hacked it up and took it home.
Yeah, but that's an
So-
expectation of children.
That's an open space.
That's an
Oh.
open space. You've
that
left
what you lot
it.
call
That's
it?
like
Yeah,
I
but
left
you've
it.
left it in a glass
That's like Gen
container
Pop.
for everyone to
It's
see.
what?
That's Gen Pop. That's like general population. It's like
Yeah,
it's
like if you
floating.
put
Oh,
if you
right.
put cake
Yeah.
in a glass thing and leave it there, then that's like an invitation to anyone that
Oh.
walks into the house.
Well, I think
This
that's
is
even like it-
yours.
the same
No,
rule
it's not.
No,
It was in
listen,
a bag.
Even when I was at WeWork, right, they have the kitchen, and then there's just biscuits there. They
Yeah.
replenish it throughout the day. But people just take whatever's there.
So
It's an open kitchen.
The moral of the story for you is make two if you want to.
Yeah, look at
Moral of the story: buy two.
Anyway,
in case Jason eats all of them.
But I have to say, as a woman raising children, I think that I am very conscious of making sure, number one, that I'm on top of all the finances, that I know exactly what's going on. I don't ever want, and to be honest, a lot of women are better at finances than men.
Yeah.
And
organized.
I don't personally have an issue with whether my husband earns more than me or less than me. I don't have an issue with that. I think that that's wrong personally, where if you earn more than your partner and you're a woman, you lord it over them. All I want to see in return, if you're not earning the same amount, is number one, that you don't pressure me for things that are outside of our budget when you're not earning that. And number two, where I see you actively doing your best to earn as much as your potential allows for you to. So don't sit at home moaning about not having money when you can go and work. Match my energy. So if I am working every hour under the sun or whatever, as a woman, I think that for me, it's just about managing that expectation of, as long as you're trying your best, then that has to be okay. But then at some point, if you're not earning enough, I think that there needs to be a conversation had of how can I then better myself, or do I need to do a course? Do I need to ask for a promotion? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Those kind of
yeah.
things.
But I mean, let's explore this a bit more. When is marriage a partnership, or is it a union of one?
It's just depends who you're
Because
asking.
sorry, I mean, there's a lot of people probably watching.
I think you have to define what partnership
Yeah.
is. What you mean by partnership?
Well, partnership, if you think about it in a business context, so if we're in partnership, we're not one.
Yeah.
There's you have
A
half
share.
of it, you have
Yeah.
a share, I have a share. So there isn't that amalgamation of one.
Yeah.
So everything is based on partnership. So it's still you and me rather than us.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the right word. Us is where it's one.
Yeah.
Partnership is where there's two. With marriage, is it us or is it you? Is it us or is it two individuals?
I think if you're,
Or do some people have a mixture?
I think some
And can
people
you have a
do,
mixture?
but I feel like if you're taking that step to marriage where you're committed to this person for the rest of your life and you're both in it to heading towards the same goal, then it should be fluid and everything should be in the same thing or access to everything. I think if you're both trying to grow together, at some point you need to be able to challenge each other when there's someone slacking, or if we need to do better, or if we have goals together. If things are in the dark or in secret, then you're still trying to operate by yourself.
Well, I think that's what happens with partnership, because in a partnership, I don't need to know what you make. You don't need to tell me, it's yours. But I think when it's an
as
us.
long as this is mine though. Usually.
Yeah, well then you end up with, well, that's mine, whether it's my egg or it's my car or it's my this.
Well,
there's that
still
mentality.
living a very singular life in a sense as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think as well, like where a lot of people get unstuck, and I know a lot of women have found themselves in this situation, is when you look at it as a partnership, then, if the man is going out to work every day and you're staying at home raising the kids, the reason why he's able to go out and work every day is because you are the one
doing
managing
the work,
kids and doing all of that. And being a housewife is a full-time job as much as going out into the corporate world or setting. So I think that if you as a man look at it like that, as in, well, I'm the one that's been earning money for the last 20 years, you haven't contributed anything, that's when I think comes a problem, because the fact is that you are who you are because she was who she is. And so I don't think it's a partnership in that sense of a business setting where, okay, well, I've put in a 50% share, so then you have a 50% share. I don't think it's that. But then in saying that, I don't think as a woman in today's day and age in society, I personally would be comfortable to not have any form of backup plan and let a man keep me. That's me personally. Because
but there are seasons though where you are home, when you're having your children, it's not that your husband is keeping you, but you, like you say, you're raising the children. There's seasons. I mean, I worked all the time, but there were seasons where I had to be at home because your children are too young.
But then I know women where they've been at home for literally, like I was speaking to someone the other day when I was walking the dog at the school, and her youngest is Maya's age, so she's 12, and she's never worked. Does that make sense? So her husband is the main provider. There's a lot of trust in that.
Yeah,
a lot of trust,
because if he turns around tomorrow and says, well, I'm running off with Lucy from HR.
But who's the trust? Who's given the trust?
I think for me as a woman, I think it puts you in a very vulnerable place.
Yeah, so the trust is you giving trust to the man.
Yeah, because you're trusting him to
It's
basically.
still a one-way thing.
Yeah, because you also now, like on your CV, if there's a 13-year gap or a 20-year gap, I've been at home raising my children. If we look at the world and how much it's evolving and changing, even in terms of technology and everything else, your skill set 20 years ago is going to be very different. So me personally, this is just my personal thing. Even if I've never had a time of being at home and raising children. I've always worked. So for me, I think that if I was given the option of being a stay-at-home housewife, I would still have a business on the side.
I agree.
Just to keep myself relevant, just to keep myself, even if I'm earning just enough to go and do my little shopping every month or my little girls' trips or just to contribute to the household and say, right, here's £500. It might not be what you're earning if you're earning 100 grand a year or 200 grand a year, but at least I can say, right,
completely agree.
I'll contribute. Like I just think
I don't think any woman should be totally where, like you said, there's never any guarantee that your partner isn't going to change their mind up the road. And then from a woman's perspective, you have not worked for 20 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And you've got no form of income and everything has been through him. And then he decides, well, I don't want to be with you anymore. Where does that leave you? And I
Yeah.
really think for your independence and for just to, like you say, to have your hand in there, I think every woman, married or not, whether you need the money or not,
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
Do something.
No, I agree as well. I think every woman should have a little side hustle, or even things like market research.
Yeah.
If you're
You could
just
do something.
little things, you
Yeah.
can do that 4 or 5 times a month
Yeah.
and be making a
Yeah.
good £600. You know, when you
Yeah.
can fit it around your schedule, so
Yeah.
it's not even like a permanent job. But
Like I know one woman where she created a Pilates studio in her house
yeah,
That's a
after
good
her
idea.
kids went. They
exactly,
were
yeah,
in
you have-
school
you have
full
your own
time.
studio all
She
day, yeah.
works from home, but it's a lovely Pilates studio in Kings Langley. But she basically just converted a studio, and she does that from home, and she controls obviously the sessions and the hours, and but she makes good money from
That's
it,
an
and it gives her a
amazing idea.
little
Yeah.
it gives
it's
her a
amazing
little income
And even if
stream.
you rented the space, you know, I know in lockdown some people that had pools were renting the space out. You know,
Yeah.
if you've got that space that you can create, I'm
Yeah.
sure there are people.
As a business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
people would come in maybe
Yeah.
like a couple of days a week. You have somebody that rents it for their Pilates class, somebody that rents it for a dance class. And
Yeah.
I think that's a really great idea. It
Yeah.
means you're in your home still, but
Yeah.
you're making money. And, you know, it reminds me of the days with my parents, you know, where they bought houses and they would rent rooms out
Yeah.
in the house because it all added back into the
Yeah.
Yeah, of
into the
course,
pot. You don't see that so much now, where people have strangers renting a room in their house, but something like that where you could build something if you've got a shed
Yeah.
or you've got access to a
Yeah.
back garden where you can just construct some kind of space that
Like,
other
you could-
people,
yeah.
even if you're not running it
Yeah.
per se,
Yeah, they can
you're
rent it from
renting
you.
the space.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. You have an
Yeah.
income, it's yours, you
Yeah.
can manage it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's
of course, yeah.
something that brings in an income. You can do multiple streams where people rent it out for different things.
Yeah, there's like so many different
that's
things. Like I
amazing
know
idea.
one woman round the corner from me, she bakes cakes and she
Ah, that's a
delivers
good idea.
them. That's her little like
Yeah,
side hustle.
yeah.
She's got
Yeah.
very young
Yeah.
children. There's some people that have like waxing or eyelash stuff
That's
in
a
their
lot
of people are
home.
It
doing
doesn't
that.
even need to necessarily be a space that you have. You could be online business. You can
Yeah.
just you can make money
There's
in so many
online
ways these
secretaries
days.
and PAs
Exactly.
and all kinds of
So many
things.
things you can do. So
Yeah.
What do you think about though if it's reversed?
that's what I was
So-
saying.
So wait, I'll just say there's I won't say the name because I don't know, you know,
Who's watching?
things get spread around. But his license plate is his child's name. So it says Burp's dad, right?
Okay.
So the child's name is and then so his license plate is Dada's dad, right? He does all the school pickups.
So he's got one child.
He's
yeah.
got one child. Does all the school pickups, all the school drop-offs. She's so she's about 10.
Stay-at-home dad, basically.
He's a stay-at-home dad, full stay-at-home dad. He
Oh,
comes
like
to all
that.
of the he comes to all of the parents' nights out. He's always the only man, so he comes to all of the like
Every
parents
school
get
has at
together
least one of those.
and everything. And he's very hands-on with his daughter. It's a daughter, it's a girl. His wife is obviously clearly the breadwinner. She's never
How long
anything.
has he been doing this for?
As long as I've known.
How long have you known?
At least I would say 4 or 5 years, but I would say from the time she was born.
Is there a reason?
I've never asked. I've always wanted to.
yeah.
But
I
what do
would,
we?
I
Because we've been
would.
speaking about.
I would. I'm
We've been
like,
speaking
how
about the
come?
women's role, and I think that that's a lot more
Yeah, I would
accepted.
be like, how come
How would
you're-
you feel,
The only-
Dom, if you were now a stay-at-home dad?
The only way I can see this, it still doesn't make sense, but it's like
And you would
the
be
only
like,
way my mind's
Nico's
telling me is
dad.
like he's working a dead end job that's not earning
Even
much.
so.
I know this makes
Even
sense.
so.
And then he's like, babe, I want to do this, but I have more time if I work from home. Now that makes sense because you can still work and
You can still do
there's-
something.
there's still enough hours out of the day. But
Yeah. But how would
mean,
how would you feel as a man?
I just think maybe that's just
Being a
someone
house
that just has
husband.
no drive. And
How would
just-
you feel being a house husband? Drive you nuts, right?
Listen, I advise every man to spend 1 week with your kids alone.
Most men
You're gonna find a
don't.
new respect for your partner. It takes a lot of.
Would you
Yeah.
would you be okay like
No.
if you went out and worked and
I wouldn't. You know why? I would. For
Yeah,
me,
but then the woman's gonna start looking down on you
yeah,
without
a
even
big-
being
a
intentional.
big part of the way I view my husband would be
takes
that
away the
he's that
masculinity.
provider. He's the man.
Mm.
And I think I would lose respect over time. And knowing me the way I do, I would be that person that would be.
What about let me twist it. Let me put a little bit
You
of
know,
scenario in.
for me,
Hold on,
can I say
let
something
me
real
just
quick?
put a little bit of it. Okay, go on then.
For me, it takes away
Your
a lot of
manhood.
masculinity.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put a spin on it, okay?
Because the way, if you close your eyes and picture stay-at-home dad, he's wearing an apron, isn't he? And he's dusting something.
Okay, wait, let
Well,
me
he's got a vacuum, he's got
listen,
clean, wash
listen.
dishes. Not
But
that
then
there's
is that-
anything wrong with any of that.
but is
that's
that
your-
just
that's
for
what you
women
do.
then? Okay, so what if he was an amazing, like, he cleaned the house, he cooked every day, he was really good with the kids, he was naturally better at being at home than he was being in the corporate setting?
I don't think that equates.
It doesn't have to be corporate.
No,
Find
because
something. Find that
Yeah.
your drive. Why are you at home?
well, this is the thing. For me, it's like you have more respect for that person, because, and I think it's important for men to be they need that identity. With a man, I believe a lot of his identity is tied up in what he does.
What he
And I think
represents.
he loses his identity, he loses his way.
Do you know what that is? That goes back to the beginning of time when man used to go out and kill and bring home the food.
Yeah.
That is
Caveman
our
style.
purpose. That's in our DNA.
Yeah.
There's a sense that there's a feeling you get when you do that.
That sense of
you will-
achievement.
But there's a lot of men
accomplishment.
that are very happy to be carried by women. What would you say to those
Something's
men?
wrong
And
with
what would you
you.
say to those women that allow themselves to be the person
It's a
that
different
carries you?
cloth. That's all it is.
It's a
different world.
It's a different cloth. It's a different generation.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's who raised you. You know. It's when you haven't seen that life or it's been represented in a way, then
Well, that's the thing. You've never seen that modelled. So
exactly. If you haven't seen it,
yeah.
then you think, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Or I've been raised by two mums. You know. Then sometimes it's certain things have effects. So.
Yeah. I think for me that's a definite no. I want a man to be that man that because I have a great husband. He works, but he does all of that. So that doesn't take away for who he is. And I think as women, there's something in a woman that you lose something
Yeah.
when a man isn't doing. If a man's not working, I don't know about today's generation, but that would irritate me.
Yeah, of course.
That would
Yeah.
really irritate me. I would.
I think I'd become quite violent.
What?
I think I'd become quite violent.
Yeah, it's not violence.
And
Not the
abuse.
word.
Yeah, I think
I,
I'd throw like remote control in his head or
I
something.
think violence not the word. It's
Like
where
if you come
you
home,
lose respect.
I would
you
become
lose
violent.
respect.
Like if you came home and he's there watching TV,
But the house is tidy.
and I've been
but
no,
the house is
but the
tidy.
but the house
is clean.
the
Dinner's
house-
cooked.
No, but the
Dinner's
house
cooked.
No,
It's
but
cooked.
I know that he wouldn't. My husband wouldn't. So,
But what if he did?
what if
What
he
if he
did?
had you came
But
home?
then that's the thing. I would have such a high expectation. If you're doing this, if there's one thing out
Yeah.
of place,
See, wait. There's a difference between the house husband and the husband that's at home.
what does that mean?
It depends what you're talking about. A house husband in my head is someone that's cleaning and cooking and doing.
Yeah,
all this
you have
stuff.
to if you're at home.
But if a husband is just at home,
What does that mean? Just at
just
home.
unemployed.
Oh,
just-
unemployed.
So what?
Even then,
yeah,
that
but
would be
is there a
irritating.
That's what I'm
difference?
saying.
Go
There's
find a
unemployed
job.
and then there's a house husband. So,
What's the difference?
Is he doing all those things? Or
This
is
is
he
what
just
I'm
at
saying.
home?
Oh, okay.
So-
The man that's
so
at
that's
home,
what I'm
but
saying.
he doesn't.
So
Yeah,
you'd
you
want
get
like
home,
a
the house is
Stepford
there, the
mother.
sink's
Dirty.
full.
Kids are all like.
The kids are just run amok, or you know, even the kids coming home and he's just say where you left him. Yeah,
That's
what's your
when you
skin?
become violent.
You know what I mean?
There'll
That's his
be a
skin.
shoe thrown at his head or something.
Then he's like, babe, what's for dinner?
Oh wow!
Oh, like
so
that.
I,
Like that.
I would put,
You been out
have
all
you
day, you
seen-
ain't got time to pick up no chicken.
Have you
Oh,
seen
wow.
on Instagram where they put the piece of paper and it says nothing on the piece of paper? That's what I'd serve
cut
you.
out a
Oh, so you
picture
just
of
get a
a
frying
plate
pan.
of food.
Yeah.
Here you go.
So you just get a frying pan to the head with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It make you violent. I think it's not. I don't think it's safe.
Your dad would always say to me, if he knows me, he knows my personality. If he was that man, he said I would bully him. I would dominate,
I think,
because you automatically, when a man doesn't step up, a woman will. So if a man isn't stepping up into his role or his position, most women are going to step up, because there's this void.
Yeah.
That a man there's if you look at it in compartments, there's a compartment that a man fits. And yes, if you're single woman, single mother, you kind of, but it's not comfortable. It's not your ideal.
Yeah.
So there's a place for a man and there's a place for a woman. It doesn't take away, because it complements one another. And for us, the dynamics of the way the home is where we're functioning together. But, you know, there are things that we do together, and it doesn't take away from my husband cleaning, making the beds, washing up. He does all of that, but he still has his position.
I think that the issue would come, though, in terms of the mentality. I think that the woman would automatically become the leader. And I think that that's where the problem would come in.
And I guarantee with that man that you've mentioned that his wife calls the shots.
Yeah.
I guarantee she calls the shots, and he's a yes man.
Yeah.
Because he don't dare upset her. She'll show him the
Watch
door.
it
Yeah.
So
Back
he
to work.
stays at home.
Yeah.
This guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's at home, so he doesn't work.
But I think there's
So
men that work that still get that lack of respect.
She gets up out of the bed,
What do you
leaves
mean?
him in bed.
There's men that's just in like maybe a dead end job.
Do you know what it is?
Someone
I think
that lacks drive or passion.
no, but I think that
And
with
it's just-
women, I think that it's that thing of like, we don't want to carry you and carry everything else.
Yeah.
And I think that with women, we carry so much. Like, we carry all the children's activities. We respond to all the emails from school. We make sure that the kids have all of the things that they need. Like, we make sure that we're, you know, it's on the calendar, the sports day, this day, that day, this day. So I think that when you also then have a partner where you're also carrying, it's exhausting. And I think then on top of that, you want me to respect you and honor you or whatever, but how can I if I'm carrying you?
But
And
do you
you
think,
just become a burden
but
then.
some women probably actually like that. They
I
like
don't.
that, where
Being
they
in control.
wear the
of everything.
trousers.
Yeah.
And you know, there used to be this program on keeping up appearances. I don't know,
I've
it's
seen
probably like before you lot's time. There was a program called Keeping Up Appearances, and this family name was Bucket, but she would want everyone to call Bouquet. But she had this mousy husband who's just a yes man, and she liked that. And I don't think that's totally fictitious. I think there are women that want to be, and they're bossy and they're controlling, and they want
There's a lot
that.
of women that's in their masculine though.
Sorry?
I think there's a lot of women that's in their masculine.
Yeah, there are some
And
very
I think that's where
masculine
there's
women.
a lot of women as well, that's been single for longer. They've had to do things themselves, and
Yeah.
so they have more of like a masculine energy.
Yeah.
So they like that, how they feel.
I get
being in
that.
control
I
of
get
things.
that independent woman thing. You know, that was me. I had to learn to be like
Some women just
accept
yeah.
help. For me, it would be like, okay, I'm trying to assemble a piece of furniture or something, and my husband would like, or the men would, a man would ask, do you need help? I'm like, no, I've got it. And you know, I get that independent type of woman, and there are times where as a stronger woman you have to step back and allow a man to, even in the home, especially in the home, in a marriage, you have to learn to step back and allow his manhood, you know, because a lot of the times I think as women we can do it. We actually don't need him to do something, but we have to like step back and allow him his ego to be stroked and make his chest come out a little bit. You know, I know when your dad does anything, it's like he wants to be like praised.
I know, it's so irritating.
They
Like
want.
stroked.
I've seen that with Jason.
like,
they like, I've done
okay.
this now.
You have to tickle his
No,
belly
but
a
I
bit.
feed into that.
No,
'cause-
but I
no,
don't.
but I
I'm
feed
like,
into
okay,
that.
well, I clean the house too.
Yeah,
No,
like,
but
why
I
do
should
you
we
do
go
that?
on about that for like
understand
10
that.
years? Like,
You never get, listen, I wrote down something, yeah.
Okay. But
Because
men,
this is how I
that's-
felt at
I'm
one
not
point
doing
where
that,
I
I'm
thought,
sorry.
this is actually sounded good.
But they do. They want to be praised. It's like, okay,
Yeah, but praise
we'll
for things that you
juggle,
should be
we'll
doing
juggle like
anyway.
10 hats. But
Yeah.
a man, when he does something, he wants you to
This
really
is what I wrote down, right?
verbalize it. Okay, go ahead.
You'll never be commended for the things you remember, but you'll always be condemned for the things you forget
Yeah.
Yeah.
as a man.
Yeah.
I've read that before.
No, I wrote that.
You wrote that.
Yes.
It's true. It's true. It's how life is. And your dad always tells me that. It's like, you don't notice when I've like put the bins out, clean the toilets, and I've done all these things, make the bed, but then I forgot a cup.
Literally.
I forgot. He
it's just
forgot
one
to
thing,
wash
it's
up.
like, what?
No, but do you know what? No, what I don't.
You
I
couldn't do
don't
this
mind
now?
any. No, but do you know what? I don't mind that, but you don't do it to me, and I think that that's where the problem lies.
Oh,
Like if you're
But-
gonna go on and on and on about it, oh wow, oh my gosh, oh ooh, oh ooh, oh wow,
Sarah.
you're such a man. Oh wow, I'm so impressed. If I'm gonna
just
do
once in a
that,
while.
No,
like
but-
yeah,
no,
but you
but-
don't do that on the reverse.
Yeah,
So why
but-
is
It's
it?
not a tit
So
for tat
you
thing.
actually know that it feels nice, but you don't want to
Sometimes
do
you have
it.
to give the energy you want to
No,
receive, Sarah.
because I give the
You
energy
can't
and
be
you still
relying
don't
like,
give
oh,
it.
give it to me.
No,
You can't be
you're
like that.
No, because the reality is most men do not sit there oohing and ahhing over everything their woman does.
But-
you don't.
but-
I bring dinner. You're
No,
not like,
there's-
oh wow, oh my god.
I
So it's
know.
not that, and
But-
definitely not sarcastic like that. Because then it's just pointless.
No,
Don't
but
do it like
there's
that. Do it from your
something.
heart.
There's
I know.
something in a man that needs that.
And it needs to be
Well,
They
genuine.
need it.
It needs to be
It's
genuine.
okay. We may not think,
He's a
well,
big
he
man. No, you
didn't.
can't do that.
He didn't do that to me, but there is something with men. They need that. Do you need that?
Yeah,
Yes.
women need it too.
As a man, I think I need.
Now's your
What's the
time.
love languages?
Get it out.
What's the love languages again?
the one you ain't gonna get it.
Don't you know yours?
I can't. I don't just have a list I carry.
Okay, there's
There's the
There's
touch.
affirmation.
Affirmation's
time
definitely
spent,
one.
And
as a
most
man.
men is
time,
affirmation.
Yeah.
quality time, words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch,
Words of affirmation.
Gifts,
gifts, and acts of service.
Yeah.
So
I
like
think
when
so- yeah, I
people
think,
do
yeah,
things
acts
for
of-
you.
So what ones do you need?
All
what's
of
your
them.
languages?
All of it.
Nah, I don't need all of them. I think words of affirmation definitely.
I think most men tick that box.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
acts of kindness.
Not necessarily
It's acts of service.
Acts of
affirmation.
service.
Men
Yeah.
need the words.
Acts of service.
Men
Yeah,
need
but
the
not
words.
every man does.
They do. The
No.
majority of men love to be acknowledged and praised for
Yeah,
what
but
they
they
do.
just like their ego.
How do you think
strokes.
Delilah
That's
got
Well,
not
that's
something?
not
affirmation.
that. I believe God gave that to the man.
How do you think Delilah got something?
Because of what she gave him.
Huh?
It wasn't the words.
There's
She
a lot of words, you know.
she wasn't using
Oh, that man
words.
had twist up.
Yeah, but she was telling him what he wanted to hear.
Mm,
She was the physical touch was there,
mm.
so she was combining
Yeah,
that.
but my argument is still the same. If you love it so much, then do it. Like if you love to be affirmed so much, then use
Yeah, but
affirmation.
sometimes they haven't seen that model to know. Like
So why do you know you want it then?
because
c-
that's in their makeup. It's
some
in their
people
DNA.
know how it makes them feel, but to
Yeah.
make them to
They
realize
don't
like,
know
wow,
how.
if I allow someone to feel
Yeah.
like that, or why have I never like when
Well,
they
I
are
think-
shown that, it'll be like, why have I never
I
realized?
think it
this?
goes back to where you see where boys want that affirmation from the father. You see boys
Yeah, of
craving
But
course.
are
that.
you saying that women don't crave
No,
No, but he's saying
not
you don't
at all. But this is a vital part of most
Another
men.
thing is women have this expectation. Like they expect the man to know
Oh
things.
wow! How
or they-
are we going down this road? Okay.
I'm just. It's like this thing where you
Expectation.
guys expect a man to think what you're thinking, or live like even if our friends right don't maybe respond how or say we plan something and they message us later than we would have messaged them. You can't expect other people to do things as you do yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't expect people to live how you live or do what you do.
Yeah.
And I think you as partners as well, you're not clones. You're not you're not two you're not two people on the same line every time. You know what I mean? You guys are literally, you're growing together. Even trees, they grow around each other. It's not no straight line.
Okay,
Do you
I know you're very
understand?
passionate about this, but let me just
No,
share.
but just break that down to what is it you're trying to actually say?
So right, from your life to your death, right?
Yeah.
You're living from your childhood, whatever molded you at that time.
Yeah.
Then your teens, whatever molded you,
Mm.
and then your adulthood is whatever molded you. Whenever you met your partner, it's in some ways, yes, you're in a line with things, right?
Mm.
But in terms of like what you're thinking and everything that makes you in terms of how you like things, how you want things to be in line, you can voice that. But there's always going to be a sense of, you expect your man, your husband, to know exactly what you want there, or you want this here, and you want this, or I hope you remembered to do this even though I haven't told you to do this, or I hope you
That
don't
sounds
eat
like
these
really-
cupcakes even though I've told you in my head that I've told you, even though I
Yeah,
haven't
the
told
cherry
you.
one is mine.
Yes, that I want this cherry one with my tea
Because
tomorrow.
you should know after 15
should you
years.
know?
Because we've been married for 15 years.
It doesn't
whatever
matter.
it is, 13
No.
years.
Because you bring home
Because
cupcakes
you know
on
I
a
don't eat
Tuesday.
chocolate.
But
So
sometimes
the only
Sometimes you
other
might just
option might
really
be
love him,
the
and
cherry.
you bought him some
Oh,
cupcakes
wow.
to take to work tomorrow.
But the fact
Oh,
is,
wow.
I went to the bakery. I
Yes.
went and thought of you.
Because exactly, maybe
so
you thought,
now
of
you
him.
didn't even return
Maybe
it.
you
No,
thought
but
you
he
thought of
probably
him.
thought, oh, what a lovely wife.
Well, exactly.
She bought me these 2 cupcakes.
She
for
knows I've
my-
got work
for my
tomorrow.
lunch.
She knows I've
He
got work
didn't
tomorrow.
think.
No, but
And
you know
that
what?
therein lies the problem.
You
Yes, but then
no, but you,
you
can't
show
put,
him.
You,
You
can't
can't-
put that all on him, because the responsibility to communicate.
I was
if you
in
s-
bed
no,
sick.
But you could. Well, how much effort does it take to say? Oh,
Well,
by the way,
I
don't
honestly,
touch my
genuinely
cupcake.
didn't think
So you're sick
that
of your
with-
cupcake.
with
You
two
How'd you go get
muffins
cupcake when
there.
you're sick?
Because I was on my way home and I was like, you know what?
So you saw pharmacy
Let me
and
get.
then
Yes,
Tesco.
I actually did go to the pharmacy and it was next to the pharmacy. So I brought one for every member of the family.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm the only one that eats the cherry one.
The
And
Does
so-
Jason like cherry?
He will eat anything.
So you're
The
not the
es-
only one that likes
yeah,
cherry.
But
That's
I
the
don't
thing.
eat chocolate. I don't eat
Yeah,
chocolate.
but the essence, the
You don't eat
easiest
chocolate at
thing would
all?
have been to
No, I don't eat chocolate
communicate
at
that.
all.
Communicate.
But he
Well,
wasn't
I
thinking.
did after he ate
wasn't
it.
thinking, do you eat chocolate? He was thinking, wow, my wife got me these two
Yeah,
cupcakes
how
to take to lunch
amazing.
tomorrow. Not that you don't eat chocolate. See, you're expecting
Okay, let
him
me
to
let me
understand.
go back to your thing about the
Oh.
trees growing together and the expectation. As a woman, the
Mhm.
reason why you get irritated is not because you want the husband or the partner to think exactly like you.
It's a
you
learning
just-
trait. It's a journey.
You just want them to think.
Yes.
So,
Like
for
you.
example, if it's 7 o'clock in the evening
Mm-hmm.
and the children are running around, as a woman, you will assess that and go, right, they have to go to bed. They need a bath. They need to get changed. They need to, there's steps that need to happen.
Yes.
Where women get frustrated is where they're the only one doing that thought process.
Okay, so if you sat down with him,
Why
And-
must we
no, no.
explain though? Because
Why
no
not?
one sits
If
down
you-
and
if you
lays
want your
it out.
message
Because
to
I
be
think,
heard,
hold on, I
then you
think,
go to the best route to do it.
I think it's highly unfair to,
Right?
and this is where you're always going to have arguments if there is that not communication. Because just because we're women and we may think more that, they always say men are
You might have
headliners.
grown up with a childhood, you're running around till whatever time.
Yeah, men are
It's
headliners.
expectant.
For us, I'm always thinking of all the little things, but it's my responsibility to communicate that out. It immediately disarms the situation that could turn into something else. And, we've been married 49 years and
Yeah.
you learn over time it's so much easier to communicate what you're thinking, what you want, if you need help. And it's that simple. If I've got the kids running around, when you lot were small, we communicated that. It was like, okay, you can't do hair, but you can, we're the 3 girls. So I know you can't comb their hair like I can, but can you bathe them? Can you give them their food? And I'll do the rest. So it's that partnership. You're working together, what you can do best and where he can help, etc. And you work together. But communication is the essence. You're always going to have fights and arguments and contention when there's no communication. Just say what you're thinking. Say what you would
I
like.
personally do communicate.
In terms of that, if you sat down with him and was like, what time do you think's best a good time
I've
for the
done
kids
that.
to go to bed?
I've done that.
Yeah, but I'm saying for me, what would work for me? If you sat down with me, sometimes I manage you to write out plain and simple what you want us to do,
Yeah.
and then all right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Like if you're running around and if I say what do you need me to do, or if you say Dom, if you could just do this,
No,
I'll get it done.
Yeah.
All those things will be done. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
like
how
your
I
dad.
operate.
But your dad's the same.
But don't expect me
Yeah.
to be like,
Mind
why didn't you do
read.
this? Why didn't you do that? If you just text me.
Okay,
if you're
I've
out
got
of
a
the house.
question then, genuinely.
Okay.
So as a man, when you're sitting there, let's use the kids going to bed scenario,
Yeah.
right? As a man, when you're sitting there,
I am different.
yeah, but I'm just saying,
Okay.
if you weren't, right, or I don't know, the house is a mess or whatever. As a man, when you're sitting there, is it like the brain's just switched off, like there's nothing moving, or I don't. I genuinely
Give me a scenario.
like. Okay, I'm gonna throw Jason under the bus. So okay,
dear.
so all right,
He's a good guy.
he's a
He's
very
never
good
coming
guy.
out.
But let me give you want a scenario. Okay, so I was on a Zoom call, right?
Yep.
So I get off the Zoom call, which is like now, I think like 9 o'clock, something like that,
What time do the kids usually go to bed?
7:38, right?
The kids are still running
No,
around.
wait. Jason's in bed.
What?
Jason,
I was gone to bed and it's Jason. They
The
gone to
kids
bed and left them.
are watching
He has crossed the
TV
border.
and running around. So obviously I went upstairs, switched on the lights, and
What are you
Jason
doing?
is
what are
a
you
G.
doing? I'm tired. I said, so do you not think the kids are tired if
How
you're
comfortable I have to
tired?
be for my body to go unconscious.
While the
Knowing
kids
that
are still.
you're gonna finish that call, come out and see whatever these kids are doing right now. Oh my god.
So my thing is, that's obviously like the extreme example of
To
what
trust
he's
my body to wake up whenever. This is mad.
So my thing is,
My kids, do you know what the house would be like? If I trust my body to shut down. Never.
so
Well, we had that example
The other day,
with
Sunday.
Luca and Miko on the table.
The other
There's
day,
like nobody in the room.
had Sunday morning, had that oil, that Nala's baby oil.
Yeah.
Whatever. Miko decided it was on the island,
Oh.
grabbed it all on the sofas. It's oil. I was like, how did you find time to do this? What? It's like it wasn't even that long, maybe 20 minutes, half hour. And I told you the other day I found him on the kitchen counter eating chocolate. He's figured out that if you use his chair that he eats with,
And
put it next to the stool, it becomes a ladder onto the the chocolates from the island. It's too smart.
So okay, back to my question.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, you're scared of your kids, so you wouldn't do that. But what I want to know is, how do men just shut down like that? Like
That's
where
not
they
all men.
don't,
That's not all
where
men.
or like for example, I've been away at work. I come home, the house is like, for me, I'm very conscious. Like if I've been at home the whole day or whatever, I'm very conscious that if I've been home the whole day, I want to create an atmosphere
But when you
where
come home, it's
whoever's
clean.
coming home, it's clean. If I've been at home, like I was home the other day, Ezra was sick, I now had more time at home than I normally would have. I was still working, but I still stopped, made sure everything was clean, put the dinner on, dinner was on the table earlier than it would be because I was home. So I'm saying that women have that kind of thought process. I feel like some.
Yeah.
So for me, like with men, is it genuinely a thing of it just genuinely doesn't cross my mind, or
Okay.
I don't think that's all men, because I know, like with your dad, he would have thought of that if he saw I was doing something, I was tied up with something. Even now, like he will get, like if we have any of the grandkids stay over, he actually is the one that would get up and start getting them ready for bed.
yeah. But that's
it's
a general, like I'm
yeah.
talking about generally.
Like real quick, was Jason like in bed or was he like
Yeah,
napping?
night light
Like
out.
he's out for the
Lights
night.
out,
Tucked
asleep.
in.
Okay, that's crazy. That's so crazy. So for me, I think it's a learned trait.
But then hold on a second, maybe he thought they're old enough to.
No.
I'm just
I am
trying
not
to rescue.
shutting down for the
I'm
night.
trying to
am I?
rescue him.
I
here.
don't know what age for me, but they're not there yet for me.
Yeah.
I don't trust Ezra. Maybe, I don't know.
They weren't doing anything naughty. They were just awake.
No, but like knowing they still got to get washed.
Yeah.
Then they get put to bed. They got
Yeah.
you got to pray,
And kids
you
are
got to pray
not
with
gonna
them
do
unless
that.
you're expecting
Yeah.
to get off the call and then go pray with them.
That's
or
what.
whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Okay, but for me, I think it's a learnt trait. Who I am before I was married was a different person, so I've grown. So who
Yeah.
I am when I just had Luca, I was a different person. Who I am
Yeah.
now is a different person. So there's a lot of learnt traits I had to do along the line as a husband,
Yeah.
as
I
a
like
father,
that.
and as a person.
You learned it.
Yeah, so
There's little
what,
things I'm
what is
picking
that
up.
process for anyone that hasn't got to that point?
Okay,
Because
for
Yeah.
me,
I don't think that every man evolves or every
Automatically.
woman evolves with all of the different seasons that change in marriage.
I think
or
for me,
life.
there's a switch you have to turn on. As a man, you have to be like, okay, there's something else I need to take notice of. In terms of something else I need to take on board. Imagine, I'm trying to make this as manly as possible, right? So imagine there's a dashboard, right? Like a screen. There's all these things that you need to operate around your life, right? So there's, your speedometer is your family, right? Or your kids, etc. You have that. Then you have your personal life of whatever you want to do, creative, whatever, in the corner there. And then you have all these different things, right? And then you have a new tab that you open, right? And it's how to make life easier for my wife, right? And you just add tabs to this, little things you pick up. So if you're home, your wife is either not home from work yet or at the shops, right? And you think, between this time and when she gets home, what can I do around this house to make her...
What an amazing man. That's a rarity, right?
No,
Go
but
on.
just what can
Yeah.
I do around this house, or maybe try to remember something she's told you to do if she has, and just go around the house. If the kids are all in order, or if they're not in order and the toys are everywhere, give them in charge to go tidy up the house or put toys away on a mission. And then you look, is the sink, the kitchen tidy? Is it tidy? In the living room tidy? Is the bedroom tidy? Is there washing done? Is everything in order? And then is there anything she's asked you to do? And in that case, you've covered the area that you've been at, and she's not going to walk into sinks full of whatever. Is the washer emptied into the dryer, or is this and that? Just little things you can do. It's just, I think that as a human, you should pick up those traits. It's not just for you, you're benefiting her. It's benefiting you. You're adding more order to yourself.
And I think it works in the reverse as well. Like for women, if you're home earlier, I think it's just that general consideration of like trying to think of things that don't have to necessarily cost money. It's just that consideration of, what can I do to, and I definitely think that there's always going to be a difference between men and women, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that women are always going to be the ones like when we were going to Cornwall. Now I packed Scrabble, I packed chess, I packed Uno cards. Jason's like, you're always overpacking, you're always doing whatever. Guess what? On Tuesday it was cloudy and rainy and cold. Guess what everybody wanted? The Scrabble, the Uno, and the chess. Guess what everyone played for the whole day? Scrabble, Uno, and chess. So I think that's the thing.
But those are traits you've picked up as a mother.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, exactly. But and I think that those are things to celebrate.
Yeah, of
I
course.
think
Yeah.
that where relationships come under strain is where, like you said, we stop picking up those traits, or we stop
Yeah,
adding them to
yeah.
the dashboard.
Yeah, you get
and
content,
we
or
get
you
content with
resentment
just,
of where you are. Yeah.
or we just focus on our tab.
Can
Does
I
that
just
make
say as well,
sense?
as a man, right? Don't always think when you get home, everything's in order. You just sit down. I think sometimes you have to realize maybe as life things get in the way. This baby done this or whatever, and certain things that haven't been done. Instead of just sitting down, maybe just look around what can be done, just to take off the weight that's, so you both can chill together. Instead of waiting for her to run around here, do that up there. Then by the time she chills with you, she ain't got no time for you.
Yeah.
She's been doing everything that you could be adding to,
Yeah.
and then you're both in a happy space where,
Yeah.
okay, house is tidy, we've both done whatever we need to do done.
Yeah.
You can spend time together.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting for her to do, I got to watch the kids, got to do that, put this baby down,
And she's got the
baby's
hump.
crying, got the baby here,
Yeah.
this and that, running around,
Now she's got the hump.
She
She's
gonna-
not
she
gonna
gonna
sit
wanna
with
spend
you.
time-
Yeah,
and you're both upset.
yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
It's
That's great
just
advice.
simple masting. It's
Yeah.
like maybe as a man, it's just a
Yeah.
box you got to open and
Yeah.
then realize, this makes sense. Then we're
Yeah.
both takes away all that bickering and
Yeah.
it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that really, I think, is the key. Like
Mm.
what you're saying, Dom,
Mm.
man or woman, it's really about like actually adding to our dashboard or our tab, and we're not an island anymore. We're
Exactly,
not
yeah.
solo anymore. We're not single anymore.
Mm.
And even if you're a single mom, that should change.
Mm.
Like when a child comes along, okay, a new tab needs to go in. Like there's so
Yeah.
many women
I
that
like,
You
I
delete the
like
old
that
tabs,
idea
yeah.
that you
Yeah,
add
like-
tabs.
Well, look
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
that girl that when I think she left her child alone at home. I think she was like 2 or 1.5
the
or
one that
something.
went off
She went
partying.
partying for
Yeah.
the weekend. Was it the weekend or 6 days?
How
She
did
was
you
She's
get
got
there?
ages.
And the child died. She
Yeah,
starved to
starved
death.
to death.
And how? Like, and that's
Yeah.
where you didn't add the tab.
Yo, you're a
Do you
mother.
get what I mean? Like,
Add
you're
the
a mom.
tab.
Add the
Yeah.
tab. Do you
Yeah.
get what I mean? Like, there's certain
yeah, that's-
things that.
But as a human,
Yeah.
you're old enough to go somewhere, to go party.
Yeah.
A child at 2 cannot be left by itself. Like,
Yeah.
as you're on the plane, are you not thinking, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah. What am I doing?
Yeah, she went out the country,
out
right?
the country, even if
Yeah.
I was going,
Out the country,
Even
you
if
know.
I was
go
going
down
from
the
my
road.
house
Yeah.
But you wouldn't leave
to
you,
anywhere.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
leave
I'm
the
not leaving my
dog. You wouldn't
kids.
leave your dog alone.
Yeah.
Like out the country, just leaving someone that can't fend for themselves in a house to not be able to even feed themselves or
Yeah.
nourish themselves.
Yeah.
That is evil.
Yeah.
There's no human
Yeah.
that can actually, like, you pick up
It's
yourself
unnatural.
happily to
Yeah.
move your body onto a plane
Yeah.
to leave, knowing in your head that child is gonna die
Yeah.
unless you do something. That's evil.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
But I think
Every
it's that
human part
thing
of you is
of
telling you
like
not to do that.
we
Yeah.
presume that when people go on to that next step, that they will automatically add that tab.
You
And
have
I
to
think-
consciously make that decision,
Yeah.
though, don't you? That my life has changed. What
Mm.
tabs do I need to add? And I think if we all begin to process it like that, okay, I've gone from single to married. I need to add tabs.
Yeah.
Okay, a child has come into the equation. I need to add tabs.
Mm.
And what's under the tab? You know, what
Yeah.
does adding a husband mean for me as a woman? Okay, I could probably not make up my bed. I could probably just maybe eat beans on toast, but my new tab says now I've got a husband, I can't just offer him a bowl of cereal for dinner or beans on toast. Now I've got to make the effort to make a proper meal. I add those tabs. So what does that look like? So the tabs keep opening other tabs. It means I've got to go
But
shopping.
I think but I think what a lot
I
of
th-
men
can
don't
I just-
realize.
can I-
But can I just say
go on.
what a lot of men don't realize is for a lot of women, and where their burnt outness comes from or where their frustration comes from, is not only do they open all these extra tabs, they go back and they delete their own tabs.
Yeah.
So, okay, doing my hair, doing my nails, spending time with my friends, blah, blah, blah. They delete those
Can I just say,
to
yeah,
make space.
sometimes you need to delete the clutter to see what's important,
It's true.
Yeah.
right? Sometimes
Yeah.
you got all these tabs open
Yeah.
and you're like, you get lost in this of life and you're just going
Yeah.
here and there. You know, you just floating along with everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to stop, organize yourself,
Close down some
organize
tabs.
your life. Okay, what am I doing that's not important? What am I spending that's not important? What am I doing that's not envisioned with where I want to go, or what I can see myself as being or looking like, or how I see myself? How do I want to perceive myself? What will make me happy in terms of my appearance, my life, my spending? What worries do I have that I want to get rid of? How do I achieve that? First of all, tidy up your life, your clutter, what is important to you. And I think you have your bookmarks of things that you save that are, you know, your family, what important, your lifestyle, what you eat, what you know, your God, and you put all those things there, and you get rid of all the things that's not important in life, all the distractions. I think that's what people need to do.
Yeah.
That's a really good bit of advice, very sound advice, because, you know, like for me, it's like sometimes you don't realise how many tabs you've opened.
Yeah.
You know, on your phone, and then you find
it
your
says
battery
500 or
keeps,
something.
your
but it
battery
slows
keeps
it
dying
down,
because
yeah.
you've
got
slowed
all
it.
these things
You
running in the
slowed
background.
down, your energy is being drained, and it's because we've got too many tabs open.
No, but I think that's what a lot of men need to realise, that when women walk through the front door and they start getting agitated straight away, it's because when I walk in the front door and I see a mess, you've just added another tab.
Yeah,
to what already has, like, I've already got like 400 tabs open.
Yeah.
And when I walk through the front door and I see that there's
pop up
a mess, bam, I've now got to open another tab. When the kids are all running around crazy, bam, I've got to open another tab. Dinner's not
and then you
done,
come in, you're like,
bam,
you
I've
lot
got
aren't
to make-
bullshit. You lot ain't this shit.
And that's what it comes off as. Yeah, like, what, you
Like,
you haven't
who wants
done
to hear
this?
that?
Or what,
Just-
you want to do this? We
just
haven't
do
done
it.
that.
You're
yeah.
sitting there.
Yeah.
Just cook
Yeah.
quickly. Like the other day, I bought all the. I have 4 boys. I bought them all. I got the kids' chopping board and the kids' knives.
Yeah.
So I had them all around the island. They were
Yeah.
they were cutting up the vegetables.
Yeah.
They were trying it. I was like, what's that one then? They said spring onion. So they had to eat it. I said, what does it taste like? He said, it's yummy.
Yeah.
So it's like a sweet vegetable.
Yeah.
Then they had peppers. They were cutting up the peppers. They were eating the tomatoes. They ate more than we could cook.
Yeah.
But then we brought them all to the stove, and they all were stirring the food together.
Yeah.
And these are life skills that you
Yeah.
need. These are tabs that you need to bookmark in their life.
Yeah.
Moments that you need
It's
to,
good
as a
though.
father,
Yeah.
do they want to just remember you sitting in front of the TV all day?
Well, that's
Just-
a good. Yeah, it's
You
like
always
the
got your
image.
phone. I had a vision the other day where all my kids are seeing I'm on the phone every time they're looking at me. There's a black
Yeah.
box in front of my face,
Yeah.
Wow.
and I thought, what are they seeing? What? And I just took a moment. I said, I have slack with this, so I need to get back on this. But they were like, I looked at all of them individually. I said, what are they thinking? What are their personalities like? Just watching them and what they do and how they act. And I spoke to them all individually, and they're just so smart on what they were so excited for you to just be present
Yeah.
with them. You know, it's
yeah.
just.
You doing the dad? You doing the emotional?
That's
That's where you get it from.
Yeah.
But it's so true, and I mean, life
Do
can
we
be
see
amazing.
them? Yeah.
It can be so amazing. You got these amazing little individuals in our lives, and just taking that moment to be present with them.
No,
and
but
to,
it's also amazing spouses. Like,
yeah,
I think it's the people in your life.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, you might even be living with your sibling, or you might be living with your mom. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it's reserved to just, husband, wife,
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
whatever. Like, whoever it is that you're doing life
Yeah, yeah.
with, like,
I love this example. I don't know if you've seen it, where they get this jar and they fill the jar with all these like golf balls, and the golf balls are the
Is it
most
full?
important things in your life, the people, your family, and you fit that in first.
yeah.
And then the things that's less important went in, like you put some gravel in and you can shake it and
Yeah.
it'll
And it
fill
fits
in
in the
all
spaces,
the
yeah.
space. Then you put some sand in or dirt and it'll fill in the space. Those are the least least important things.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of people putting all the reverse in,
Yeah.
and we're leaving out the most important. So now if you're trying to, you've got the dirt in there, you've got the gravel in there, now you're trying to fit in the most important,
Yeah.
it's not going to fit.
Yeah.
And I think that's where everyone needs to kind of reevaluate your life and reevaluate the people that's in your life, because usually what's most important
Yeah.
we leave out.
Yeah.
And then trying to fit that in, because your career, your job, that's not your golf ball.
Yeah.
That's not your golf ball. It's
Yeah.
your family. It's those people closest to you. Those are your golf balls, not your career. That can change any day.
Yeah.
Or if you lose your job, you can get another one.
Yeah.
But what can't you live without? And I think that's a question we have to ask ourselves. Who are and what is the things in my life I just absolutely cannot replace, cannot live without? They go in.
I
first.
love what you were saying, Dom. Like, so what for someone that may be like watching this or whatever, like that's never sat down with their kids individually, what did that look like for you? Like, what kind of questions did you ask them? Like, did you take them one by one to one side because you got 4?
Yeah, I just caught them in different moments throughout the day. But it was like, I have like a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. They're the oldest ones. And like Casey's the middle one. So he's so funny, Case. And then he was like, he talks, but his vocabulary is limited. So I was like, what's your favourite word today? He's like thinking for ages. He's thinking about everything he's done. He's like, jumping. So he's got a new phase where he's just jumped from everywhere. He's like, Daddy, watch this. Daddy, watch this.
Did you watch?
Yeah,
Did
literally
you
just
do it? Yeah,
that's
he
the
did that to
smallest
me
movement.
yesterday. Look at me jump.
Yeah, like look at me jump. Gabby, watch this. He's just saying everything's like, watch this, watch this.
It doesn't go away, by the way.
Yeah.
You still be doing it 10, 11.
So, and you pick up traits. If you keep on that, you pick up traits of what they like.
Yeah.
Like you, as you watch them, you're adding things as well. Like for us, our new thing is our walking. We go for like forest walks.
Yeah.
So we go for walks for about an hour, 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we went for a walk the other day, and they love it. They pick up flowers. I picked up the gloves that you put on there, so if they touch stinging nettles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got them that as well. They can whatever they touch and whatever. But they learn about the trees. We learn about what we are, what we pick, and we look at it. So they love. It's just little things you add. If you add to your life, it's like it'll bring out characters in your kids as well. So
Yeah.
add a hobby that you do with them, or you go out with them,
Yeah.
or whatever you do. Find something that you can do as even just stuff you and the kids as a father.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the wife all the time that's involved. You can do
Yeah.
something. It's you and the kids.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I hope you guys got something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's worth exploring. Excuse me. Instead of getting contentions and arguments, it's just putting those important things in the jar.
I think it's seeing
Yeah.
who's in front of you. And
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
sometimes when we're
Because
so
we don't,
close.
and that's the thing. Seeing, I think that's the word.
Yeah.
Because we can get so busy with life, we stop seeing each other.
Yeah.
That's it.
At the
Open your
moment-
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if when you stop seeing, that's when problems begin to build. See your wife, see your husband,
I
see
think
your kids.
I think as well, instead of matching that energy,
Mm.
stop and ask yourself, okay, what, like, even with my husband, you know, it's like sometimes, like, he moved over from Australia to the UK, and you know, sometimes you're just so busy, whatever, that sometimes I don't remember that he's probably missing his family, he's probably missing his friends, he's
Yeah.
probably missing his country. And so when he might be behaving in a certain way,
Probably
I
'cause
think
he's
rather than
internalising.
rather
Yeah.
than matching the energy, or if your wife comes home and she's irritable or she's whatever, maybe she's just overwhelmed, and
Yeah.
you know, like you said, like, just clean up after the kids instead, like, you know,
what
just
can I do to
stop.
better
And
the
sometimes
situation?
people
Yeah.
don't want to be like, well,
Yeah.
you know, this is what's wrong with me, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's just actually just, you know what, let me see that person, like,
Yeah.
see them not for what they're being at
Or
this
what
very
they've
moment,
done or not done.
or what they've
Yeah.
done or what they've not
Yeah.
done, but actually, like, who are they? Like, what are they genuinely feeling today? Do I know how all my kids have felt
Yeah,
throughout
yeah,
the day
yeah.
before they go to bed? Like,
Yeah.
do I know how my spouse has felt for the whole entire day
Yeah.
before they go to bed.
Because something could have triggered, that made them feel, like you say, missing of your family, your friends,
Yeah.
your country. Something could have triggered that. And, one of the things we tend to do is when something triggers and we retreat,
Yeah.
that could have been a reason, like, go to bed because you're not there. And I'm just saying it could not have been, but it could have been like, I feel like I'm missing,
Yeah.
and I just want to go lie down. And
Yeah.
it just wasn't meant. It wasn't about, oh, I forgot to take care of the kids. It could have
Yeah.
been that on top kept,
Yeah.
that moment of me feeling like I miss my family.
Yeah.
I miss my friends. I'm missing
Yeah.
the thing he loves.
Yeah.
He loves to surf. It could have been that, well, I'm just going to go lie down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we do as women, you
Yeah.
feel out the blue,
Yeah.
blindsides you.
Yeah.
Something brings a moment that sweeps into your life that makes you feel unhappy.
Yeah.
And you stop functioning as
Yeah.
you would normally do if everything's working.
Yeah.
And I think the key is, because this is what the phones and all these things do, it causes us not to see.
Yeah.
We don't see those that are important, and we're so busy, like you said. You don't want your kids to see this black box in front of your face.
What's that film where Sandra Bullock and she has to have a blindfold on?
Oh yeah, where it's like they're not
Yeah,
they're
you
not.
Oh,
got-
I've
you
never
got-
watched it. I've seen the
I
trailer,
watched
the
it.
sound one where if they
Bird
make a
Box.
sound, yeah.
Bird Box, right?
Yeah,
When you open your eyes, it's like you see something and they go mad or whatever, right?
yeah,
So for me, it's like I got a vision, right, of when you take someone's phone away and you actually open their eyes in
yeah,
in the realm of everything.
yeah.
It's like you realize they'll probably actually bring tears to their eyes and they realize what they're missing if they actually
Exactly.
implement these certain
Yeah.
things.
Well, I
It's
think
like-
as well, like familiarity gives way to that of not seeing, even with or without a phone.
Well, that they're always going to be
I think
there.
that they're always going to
Yeah.
be there,
They're
or
not.
they're just going to keep going,
Yeah.
or
Well,
I think we just
last week-
dehumanize
Last
people.
week we went to a funeral, and everyone's got these amazing things to say about this person that was still relatively young, for to have passed away. And your dad said something at the funeral, and he's like, how many of you said those things to that individual
Yeah.
when he could appreciate them?
Yeah.
Now that person's in a box, they can't hear you.
Yeah.
Now's the time to see people.
Yeah.
Now's the time
Yeah.
to say what you feel about
Yeah.
them in a
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Now's the time to value
Yeah.
them, appreciate them when they can feel the hug. They
Yeah.
can appreciate the embrace. They can appreciate the help. They can feel special. There's
Yeah.
no point trying to say stuff, wanting to hug them, wanting to do all things for them when they can't be here. Don't send me flowers when
Yeah.
I'm laying in a box. Give me flowers now where I can enjoy the beauty of them. I can smell them. Give me flowers now to help me now.
I think as well helping people's mental health as well.
Yeah.
So, if I know for Jason, like going up to the what's it called, the pool, the wave pool, and just spending the afternoon there is like his release. For me, like watching a series for me is like when I want to like just zone out, whatever. And like I even because like when I start a series, like I just want to watch it. And Jason's like, you're always on this or whatever. I'm like, this is my closing down tabs
Yeah.
because I don't get to go out, whatever. So this is my thing that I found that because I like to use my mind and figure things out. I like series where I don't know what's going on till the very end, and that's my weird way of like just closing down some tabs and feeling like, okay, now I can come back.
Me time.
And I think it's just finding
hear that,
those
men?
ways.
Women don't operate unless they only have a certain amount of tabs open.
Yeah.
So if they've exceeded the
That's
tabs,
when the moods come. That's when the snappiness comes.
then there's a lock screen.
That's and the whole thing. Is you
screen.
get locked out.
Yeah, you can't get
You
in,
get
there's a lock
locked out.
screen.
We change the password.
That's it. You gotta delete some tabs for
Yeah.
it.
And
You
then
got-
we'll release the
you gotta do
password
what you
back
gotta
to
do
you.
to delete some tabs.
yeah. Yeah.
You might get a password.
Yeah.
But guys, life is really short. It's too short to argue and fight. It's too much energy to live in that zone.
Yeah.
Enjoy who you have in your life, appreciate them, appreciate your kids, put the phone away, learn to see those things. That's most important. And that's what we keep in our box. For me, it's about building my life around the people that I love and appreciate, and you want to create those spaces, you know, those happy places, memories.
Exactly.
It's
These
about
are all
memories.
just moments and memories that are just you're gonna save. You know, we don't remember everything.
Yeah.
So and it's not even just us you're thinking about. It's our kids. It's our wife. What we capturing in these little moments.
While
in life.
you're here, while you
Exactly.
can impact. For us, it's like our life is for us, our grandkids.
Yeah.
We think memories. When whatever we try to do for them, we think about memories. We want to leave something that's going to leave a happy memory. So it's not every memory you want them to remember, but you want happy memories.
Because when someone says your name, an image comes to your head.
It should be a good one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you want them to create these happy memories.
Yeah.
And your kids are watching, and they are taking in, and like Dominic said, they're learning and they're creating that as a bookmark. So when we're not loving towards each other, when we're not kind towards each other, when we're not affectionate towards each other, all of those things, those are creating bookmarks in our kids. When we're always angry, when we're always shouting, and I think that's why it's so important that we don't allow ourselves to get depleted, where we don't allow ourselves to get to the point where we're completely burnt out. And this is not a man thing, this is not a woman thing, this is a human being thing. And I think that when we start seeing each other and, like Dominic said, asking the question, how can I make this person's life a bit easier or a bit better today? And like even being conscious of your kids, like even when I was driving here, I could feel Kayla just staring at me, and I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, I'm studying your face. And I was like, why are you studying my face? She was like, well, I can see you put mascara on, I can see that you put blusher on, I can see you've done your... She's like just studying me, and I'm like, but it's like she just wants to
she's digesting you.
She's digesting me, but she's literally studying me, and I was like, okay, are you still studying?
It takes a moment to download the picture.
But
you know?
I am also very conscious with Kayla, like she just wants to be where I am all the time. Like, and she's constantly watching me, watching everything I do, everything that I say. Like she literally will stand here while I'm doing my hair, while I'm doing my makeup, and she's just studying it. What's that? What's that? What's this? What's that? But like you said, it's creating those bookmarks.
Yeah, she's conscious of that as well.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not even conscious like that, but she's very like, she's active in capturing those moments of you. You know? So that's an amazing thing. She's gonna just remember everything about you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I hope you guys enjoyed today's program and the conversation. And
be kind.
and be kind and
be present.
And create that conversation with your spouse and talk. I think one thing we could take away from that is communication is key.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
See ya.